Hi everybody, welcome to Sudhakar Art and Photography, and this time to another tutorial on painting. So this time I'm going to do an oil paint, and this is the picture that we're going to paint today. My approach is to study the black and white photograph of the painting because it gives me an idea of the light and dark areas, the contrast within the picture. And what I do is to apply um, something like dark blue or dark brown or something like that as the undercoat, where I understand how the light falls and which areas are dark and which areas are light and so on. So that's what I'm going to do first. This is a portrait, so I have to get the proportions right. I need to have the eyes, the nose, the lips, the features have got to be accurate. Otherwise, the painting is not going to look good. Unlike a landscape or a still life, you can manage the proportions one way or the other. But in a portrait, you have to get it right. So, with that in mind, I have made a sketch of the painting. You can see here. I'm not sure how visible it is on the screen, but what I've done here is to use a carbon and trace the outlines. You could do a sketch if you're comfortable with that. I didn't want to spend too much time trying to get the sketch right. To be honest, I'm not very good with sketching, so I thought the best thing is to do a kind of a trace using a carbon paper. I have the outline in place now. All that I need to do is to start working on the first layer, the foundation layer that I'm going to apply. I'll probably use a Van Dyck brown with a quick drying odorless turpentine to dilute it, and I'm going to use that to do the undercoat. So let's get started with this. So for my reference, I also keep a copy of the color photograph with me, just to understand how everything works here. I'm going to use an ordinary brush. It's just right. So I think now I'm ready to start the coloring. So I'm going to use for my reference the the printout, the color printout of the picture here. I think there's going to be some glare on this video, so I'm going to show this to you on the screen now, so you can take a close look at the picture, and then you can compare it with what I've done here. So basically what we've done is to replicate the lights and shades as you see in this poster here, exactly in this. So this is like a monochrome version, a black and white version of the picture, more or less. So you can see the dark areas here, the hair, the cushions, the areas behind the arms, under the legs, and the sheets and stuff like that. So you can more or less understand how the light flows now The areas that are light are the areas where light falls, and the dark areas are the shadows. So let's start applying color on this one now. So where we are at this point is I have completed the color. This is an attempt to get the skin tone as close to natural as possible. So I've used a mix of vermilion with white, a little bit of yellow, and a touch of blue as well to get the shade here. It's basically a question of trial and error. You need to mix these colors. Avoid using black, because for portraits it's best not to use black. That's the general rule we follow. So if you want to get a dark color, you can always mix red or vermilion with blue, cobalt blue, and try to get a darker color. Here I have used Van Dyck brown a bit liberally because I wanted the undertone of the hair to be a bit brown, dark brown. So that's the layer below, but on top of that I'm trying now to give the highlights, as you can see here. I'm basically painting the cushions now, so what I've essentially done is to let this area dry so I can give the highlights a little later. The hair and the skin, they need to dry a bit before I can give another layer of highlights on top of that, just to show the flow of light. But while that's happening, while it's drying, I'm doing the cushion and stuff like that. So it's the background, so I can save some time while I work on the background. As you might have seen in the picture, the bottom of the cushion is a bit dark because the light is falling from this angle here. So this area is light and this area is dark, and that's exactly what I'm doing here, because this underlayer has got this dark Van Dyck brown behind, so obviously this area looks a bit dark, and as it goes higher it looks a bit lighter. So we can confidently give this area the color of the cushion, because after it dries we can draw the hair on top of it, so that doesn't matter. So let's get the underlayer in place. So that's the background, the cushion. We've got cushion here as well. There's another blue cushion here, so this area also gets the blue color, just as it is seen in the photograph. And you have the cushion on this side as well, so probably give the same blue on this side. So it's basically 1, 2, and 3 cushions in the background that she's leaning on here. So there you go. I will continue the painting by working on the more finer details, just to give that effect of cloth as I paint. So I'm going to let this also dry, and once it's really bone dry, then it will be easy to give that effect of the the material that's used normally for couches and things like that. So the cushion will look good once I give that effect. So I'll wait for this to dry now. So what I'm doing here is, once I've given that layer of blue, while the paint is wet, I've used a little white to actually dab it on the top, and that's giving the effect of the fabric, as you can see here. And it's also making sure that I kind of guide the flow of light from the top here. So this area looks light and this looks dark over here. So that's what I'm doing. to get the effect of the cloth here, I'm using a brush that's pretty. Let me focus the brush and show you the kind of brush I'm using here. The brush I'm using is a very old one, so the bristles are pretty rough, and that gives me the effect of cloth, the rough surface of the cloth here. So let me show you the brush a little more closely. As you can see here, it's those bristles that create the effect, and let me show you how it works. That's it. We're all done. So I'm just showing you a close-up of what we've achieved so far in this painting. This is loose brush style, so you'll find that the brush strokes are very visible as you look very closely at the painting. But as you step back, that's when the magic happens and everything falls into place and you can see the painting. So I suggest that as artists that you must develop a loose brush stroke style. You don't have to use the brush like a pencil or a pen, but be free while you paint. It takes a bit of practice, but then the effects are quite excellent. You don't have to stress yourself trying to draw every hair or every fold of the fabric exactly as it is in the photograph. Just getting the big picture is sufficient. If you manage the flow of light and the proportions, then you should be good. So thanks for watching, and do remember to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and click the like button as well. I'm leaving a few tips that you can remember and practice while you're painting. Thanks for watching.